It's Mr. Woods here for Mr. Woods' Wonderful World of Art, and I'm bringing you tips, tricks, and techniques. I'm going to be discussing and demonstrating how to use and giving some awesome tips for the General's charcoal pencils. Now this set is an introductory set that's good enough for the beginner artist all the way to someone who's really experienced. It comes with 3 black charcoal pencils, 6B, 4B, 2B, and also a white charcoal pencil as well as a kneaded eraser. And I'm really going to be talking about and demonstrating the 3 different charcoal pencils, what the numbers mean, and which one I prefer. So now let's begin. Here are the 3 charcoal pencils that we're going to be testing today. We've got a 2B, 4B, and 6B. I sharpened all 3 of them just with the generic metal sharpener so they have similar tips. I'm using a 90-pound just budget white drawing paper. I have some squares and circles that we're going to use, and when we're testing these we're trying to see which one is the easiest or softest to apply, which one is the most opaque, which one blends smoother or easier. So we'll get started. I'm going to start with the 2B up top here, and I'll just write 2B here. I'm going to use the same kind of technique, coloring in my square for each one. And right now when I feel this being applied to the paper, it's a little gritty. And you see I'm just going up and down with the strokes, filling in the square. I'm going to move on to my 4B. This is a little more easier to apply, a little smoother. It does flake off. I can see the little specks come off around the outside of my square. And it's a little bit darker as well. And I'm trying to apply the same amount of pressure for each one. 6B. I'm doing the same up and down strokes. And if you can see how that one has a lot of specks come out. And that might be something you have to think about if you're trying to do something very precise. Now you have to think about the little bit of charcoal dust. Where is it going to go? As you can see, this one is a lot darker, really opaque. Now we're going to color in the circle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a circular motion to color in. And again with the 2B, it does have a little bit of a grit feel to it. Feels like it's going to stay where you put it. A little more security in that. If I was doing something that was a fine line, I would feel very comfortable with the 2B. 4B. It has a nice feel to it when I'm going around and I'm using these little circular motions. It feels nice and smooth. But I am concerned with, the charcoal that goes outside of my line. And it is a little bit darker than the 2B. Now I moved on to the 6B, and it does on the General's pencil say extra soft, whereas 2B says medium, 4B says soft, and that's talking about the charcoal itself, how soft it is. And the softer the charcoal, the darker it's going to be. As you can plainly see, that's a lot more opaque than the other 3. So if I was trying to get something that's more of a pure black, I would be going with the 6B. Then we're going to test out how well they blend out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come in with just a paper stump, and again try to use the same motion little circular motions and the same amount of pressure, because changing the pressure and the way I'm doing the blending could change the outcome. So you can see that. Same thing here, and this is a clean stump. That one was a lot smoother and easier to blend out. Let's go to the black. It looks black to me up top. Go around on the 6B, and it's really dark. But again, you can see a lot of charcoal dust. Now let's test out how well they blend with. I have just a basic Kleenex here. I'll just go across here, just you see how that kind of spread out. Move on to the 4B. Try this one. And then you get a lot more of the charcoal moved across the paper there. And the 6B obviously is going to be the one that's going to blend the easiest or the smoothest, because it's just so soft. Use this here, press down, and that really smooths out, and you lose those lines. I was trying to angle my charcoal pencil to reduce how much line was showing there, and go back over this one with the Kleenex. And the second time I kind of missed the bottom on the first time, but you can still see a little bit of the lines. Same thing here, and that right on the 6B it's a lot smoother. So we have a variety of we have a dark gray, a really dark gray, and an almost a black, where you get your pure blacks. So your core of your shadows would be something that you'd really want to go with the extra soft 6B. 4B, this one right here is my personal favorite. That's one I use for almost an entire drawings right here, because I just like how it still has that little bit of texture onto the paper, but it does blend smooth. I can go back over it a second time to get it darker, and then I finish up with my 6B to really get my sections almost pure black. 2B I don't use a lot, just because it's so kind of grainy when it goes onto the paper, and I feel that sometimes it will even damage the paper because I press down and it'll leave little divots and grooves into the paper. So my personal favorite is 4B, and then I use the 6B just a little bit for anywhere that I want to get the pure black sections. Now let's check out how well they erase. So I'm going to go right through here and just pull a line. You can see what that does. And all three of them erase fairly well. So you don't really have to worry too much about, I have applied 6B charcoal on the paper, I want to get it lighter. You can still come back through, and I was just using a traditional pink cap eraser. So there you have it. We're talking about General's charcoal pencils, 2B, 4B, and 6B, what the different numbers mean. 2B is going to be a harder charcoal tip. It's not going to blend as easy as the 4B or 6B, and it's going to be kind of grainy when you're marking it onto the paper. 6B, a lot softer than the other two, blends very easily, but then you still have a little bit of the charcoal dust, and see, that's all it takes is moving that around a little bit, and maybe that's what you're desiring, or that could be something you have to think about. I want something to be very fine and fine-tuned and fine detailed. You might go with the 2B because it won't have that. So the best thing to do is go out and buy some charcoal pencils and just get a sheet of paper and practice. I'm so glad you're able to join me right here at Mr. Woods' Wonderful World of Art. I hope you're able to take away some tips and techniques that you can use in your own artwork. So if you're looking to purchase some charcoal pencils, the general set is a great introductory set that you can purchase online or at your local arts and crafts store. So you need to go out there, get the tools that you need, and be original, be creative, and most importantly, have fun. And remember, if anyone can do it, it's you.